Whoa, Kenny. Kenny Beats. First solo album. Louie. Yeah, when this was announced, it popped up, I don't know, in my title a week ago or so, right? Like coming soon. And I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Kenny Beats got himself an album coming. The reason why I get so excited about that is as I've gone through this hip hop journey, of course, my wife has kind of followed along too, just because she's been forced to listen, right? And, you know, she's being nice and trying to check out different videos that I do and stuff like that, just to be supportive and stuff. But one really cool kind of byproduct from that is we ended up finding Kenny Beats, and she ended up finding The Cave, you know, the YouTube channel that he has. And there was a period of time where she just binged all of them. I would come home from work, she'd be doing whatever, and her laptop is on. She's got the Bluetooth speaker, you know, wherever in the kitchen or whatever she's doing, listening to The Cave with Kenny Beats. And so she probably went through every single episode. She really, really enjoyed that channel and the videos that he was posting and stuff. So Kenny quickly became kind of a beloved person in this household. Those videos are great. You know, I did the Unlocked with him and Denzel Curry. I want to do the Rico Nasty one as well, him and Rico Nasty. But I'm going to start with Louie. Really wanted to check this out. This is also, for me, a bit of a practice run. I've got the lyrics up on behind this, but most of those tracks looks like they have lyrics. But I'm kind of getting ready for J Dilla's Donuts. I'm going to do Donuts at some point, hopefully before the year is over. God, there's so many albums left, you guys. It's ridiculous. But I want to do Donuts. That's a big one. And so I feel like Louie maybe is kind of a practice run for that. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I haven't listened to either, so I don't know how fair of a comparison that's going to be. But there you go. Either way, I'm just excited to check out Kenny Beats and an album that he has. This cover interests me. And this is what's neat about painting and art in general, is sometimes you can just find something that you like it, but you don't know why. And it's neat, you know, because you're like, why? But then you just keep looking at it, trying to figure it out. And I look at this cover and I notice that, you know, the people are all outlined in pink, which is interesting. And, you know, it looks like they're sitting in some sort of park, and you got like a father-son thing, and the kid's got the headphones on. He's listening to something. What's really interesting to me is behind them, and it's probably hard to tell for you guys on this screen, but there's these four guys. And like this one guy kind of on the far left side, he's got like his arm back, like he's skateboarding or something. They look like they're doing something, but they're all focused on something in the center, but there's nothing there. I don't know. It's just an interesting cover for reasons I can't explain, which is neat. Anyway, I just want to talk about the cover. I have been enjoying talking about covers as people have mentioned that to me, like, oh, talk about the covers, and it's been kind of fun. I guess that's it. We'll roll into it. Oh, one last thing I wanted to say is I'm expecting to do more of a vibe listen on this. I mean, Kenny's obviously a producer. I don't know how many lyrics are going to be in the tracks, or if there's people singing or what have you. So normally I'll hear a verse and a chorus and I'll pause and I'll talk about that. I don't know. I'm kind of coming in with a goal of less pausing, a little bit more of a listening and trying to experience the music, but we'll see where that goes. So there you go. Okay, track one. It's called Leonard, produced by Kenny Beats. And, oh, how do I bugger? Hold on. I gotta get my thing right here. Here we go. Okay, track one, Leonard.
Why did people start calling me that?
Louie all started from, originally it came from Moire.
Oh, Rich.
It starts with Rich Boy. Lou. Started with him. And he used to call me Louis J all the time. And then it just progressed from there, and then all of a sudden it was like, then when you started doing things, I'm going like, Lou, what the hell was going on? Then your mother capitalized on Lou only. She loved Linux. Get it, Charles Blow III, and there's no L anywhere.
I'm going to let it roll into the next track. It's kind of a neat little intro here. Track 2 is Parenthesis, and it's an instrumental. to assume that this is all on the laptop, on the touchpad, like the monster that he is, using a touchpad. I say that only to call out the fact that it sounds like someone's playing it. You know, the bass line sounds like someone's playing it. A lot of the instruments sound like they're being played, but I have to assume it's all Kenny on his laptop, you know, which to me is very impressive. When they can make it sound that good just from using, I guess, computer files. I mean, I guess not that it's impossible, because it's all files that get recorded and stuff like that, and you just play with them, but still, very impressive. Cool. Little horn addition there. Building a little bit. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. This is badass. I'm going to pause it. That way I can let it just roll into track 3. I'm going to assume kind of like, you know, with Mad Villainy or other albums like that, where they just keep rolling into each other. Anyway, I did want to mention, though, that I like how with the horns section that he added, they're soft, which is a challenge. You know, usually horns, they kind of get like a sharp tone. You know, they hit pretty hard. But this, he just like rolls them in there. Real nice. Real nice. So we'll roll into track 3, which is called Hold My Head, featuring Pink Sifu, I guess? I don't know. Roll into it. Here we go. Great sound. Great sound. Cool. What a cool little jam. Parenthesis is. Cool little jam. Cool little change up right there. You know, I'm not an expert on Kenny and his production, and, you know, I haven't heard. There's a lot more projects that he's done that I have not heard than what I have heard, obviously. But there is something neat about how a producer, you know, using a laptop, making beats, like so many of them do, can still have a distinct just style, sound, you know. And something I've always enjoyed about Kenny is how he'll do these little change-ups with the beats, you know, hesitations, and, you know, he'll drop stuff out, he'll bring stuff back in, and it's just cool. And I really enjoy that. I wonder if it's just because of when I started hearing what he was making relative to my own journey through hip-hop, and especially when you hear stuff kind of from the 90s, you get these, you know, you get a lot of these beat structures that just repeat. You know, it's a skeleton for the bars to sit on top of, right? All the rapping can overlay on top of it, and, you know, that works. But mentally, with the music, when that beat structure just repeats and repeats and repeats, I feel like, you know, the beat can be really catchy. Like Vomit Spit by MF Doom, it's just one of my favorite beats ever, man. I love it, and I love that it repeats, because I could just listen to it. But with Kenny, there's always just some variation happening. There's always some changes and it's cool. It keeps my ear like engaged on the musical side. And I love that he does that. This is a cool little jam too. Let's keep rolling. There's only 15 seconds here. So the next track is called So They Say, produced by Kenny Beats. So I'll just let track 3, which is Hold My Head, roll into track 4, So They Say.
At night in my dreams, I'm in ecstasy, it seems that I could sleep forever.
Ain't thinking Kenny Beats, bro. name is Louie. I made this recording all by myself. The first thing I have to tell you is this.
Again with the horns, man. Awesome. This is cool, man. This is super cool. This is cool, man. This is really cool. And I'm liking how they just kind of bleed into each other. This is a lot of fun. You know, it's just got albums that have that where, you know, Whole Lot of Red, I feel like did this really well because, you know, the songs are fairly quick and you punch through. But what's great about that album is there's not a lot of, you don't have that dead space between tracks. It just, one track stops and then the next one starts. Boom. And so you're just on. You're on the ride the whole way through. And so, you know, Mad Villainy is really good at that, obviously, because they fold into it. JPEG Mafia does that really well because everything folds into each other. And this thing's doing the same thing. So this is cool. Next track is called Family Tree, featuring Slow Tie. For some reason, that name sounds familiar. And Mac DeMarco also sounds familiar. But I'm going to let you all down and not remember who he produced for. But this is kind of cool. It's got some other people in for track 5, which is Family Tree. So we will start with Family Tree.
I said, f*** your mom, f*** your sister, f*** your fucking sperm donor of a father. I'll shoot your daddy up in a club backside. I want a Brazilian bounty. And I got insufficient funds. I'm sick of living in no rent. I gave my partner all the crumbs. She said, you're better off there. And everything in life and peaches, sweet as pieces it can be. And she said, you said that you love me, but you hardly love me. So fuck your mother, your brother, your sister, and your dad. 'Cause once I...
You know, part of me wants to try and tear this apart. You know, okay, what's the deeper intention here? Does this feed into the album? Is there a theme? And the other part of me goes, you know, it's a song, you know. And, well, let's keep going. Let's see if there's more lyrics rather than trying to conjure something out of nothing. Let's just let this play through. We'll keep vibing with it, which is something, well, I guess that's into the lyrics right there. Well, let's just play. We'll let it play. We'll enjoy the production.
You're like a dog, need a muzzle, love. I told this bitch I don't cuddle, but I'm cuddled up.
These cool little guitar licks that he's using, man, are great. And that bass line that's in there. That guy right there. I'm going to roll into track 6 here, which is called Hooper. I'm going to see if I can think of anything on these lyrics. Insufficient funds, sick of living on rent. I give my partner on the coin. She said, you're better off dead. Everything in life ain't peaches, sweetest pieces it can be. And you say that you love me, but you're hardly loving me. It's kind of interesting. And then, you know, fuck your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother. Once I go home, there ain't no turning back. So he's out of money. He's tired of paying rent. Tired of giving all of his money to his partner. She says you're better off dead. And then she also says, you say that you love me, but you're hardly loving me. And, you know, fuck your mother, your brother, your sister, and your dad. Once I go home, no turning back. So it sounds like a shitty relationship. And then we got this line, you're like a dog, needs the muzzle off. I told this bitch I don't cuddle, but I'm cuddled up. Huh. It sounds like a codependent relationship, a very shitty, toxic, codependent relationship that's happening there, you know? I don't know. But also the track is called Family Tree. But maybe that's just because, you know, it's, you know, screw your whole family. Huh. All right, well, let's keep rolling. This is cool. I'm really enjoying this. So track 6 is called Hooper, produced by Henny Beats. Henny Beats. and it's an instrumental. So again with the horns, man. It's so cool. And he's done something to take off kind of that sharper edge. And I like he's got that thick bass back there. You know? Like if I was blasting this on my speakers, things would be shaking. One thing I'm noticing, you know, oh, JPEG Mafia is on the next track. Nice. Nice. I'm thinking about my experience with Donuts whenever I get to that point. I understand there's no lyrics, but I also understand that there are lyrics via samples. I know he made that album when he was sick, before he died, and all this other stuff. And so I'm having that in mind as I listen to this, because this, in a sense, is a practice run. But in terms of this album, obviously very different circumstances, very different person, all these different things, right? And so far, you know, just in terms of the production feel, it's just fun. Very light, very enjoyable, and it makes me think of the cover. Nice day, outside, flowers, trees. You know, not that this is like a nature-y sound or anything like that, but just light. You know, the cover's got the pastel colors and all that stuff. And so this very much is carrying that feel. But I paused to say all that to say, in a sense, I don't know how to explain it, even though I just did explain it. Let's roll into track 7, which is called Still, featuring JPEG Mafia and Omar Apollo, and produced by Kenny Beats and Omar Apollo. JPEG Mafia singing here. Nice. Again, just a cool sound, man.
Oh yeah, you want that shit? Okay, okay. Look, I want your little bitch to start it back. You talking shit, we gon' target that. Double up, welcome back. I feel like raising the case. Double up.
This is so cool, man. Why do I remember this? Am I just having like an extreme case of deja vu? I remember this. Something about a pea coat. Because I remember talking about, oh, he's talking about a pea coat. A pea coat is a very thick wool coat that you get in the Navy. I was in the Navy, so I used to have a pea coat. I got my pea coat on and we're still in this motherfucker. Why do I remember that? Maybe I'm just thinking of a different song. But I also thought it was JPEG Mafia too, which this is JPEG Mafia. So, either they did something together before and they remade it or something, or I don't know. Strange. It was a very strange moment. Or like dementia is finally setting in for dear old Papa. Not a whole lot to say about the lyrics. I mean, it is what it is. They're cool. The sound, the production is just fantastic. Let's finish this one up before my brain splits in half trying to remember something that did not happen or did happen. I don't know.
Check it out.
Yeah, you can't play this around nowhere
rapper, yo, because it's just gonna be like you just keep this locked the fuck up. Don't say anything.
So this is great because this is definitely a JPEG Mafia talking here at the end, even though the voice is distorted. And this track to me is brilliant because the production's fantastic, right? The beautiful vocals that he's using, I think, from the sample. I don't know the sample, unfortunately. That's still one area I am desperately lost in, is knowing samples. But how perfect is it to have JPEG Mafia on this track, and at the end he's talking about you can't play this around any rapper because it's gonna be like just lock this fuck up, don't tell anybody. Because how are you gonna rap over it? It's a great production, but how's anybody gonna rap over it? And how fitting to have JPEG Mafia, a guy who had to start rapping because nobody would rap over his beats, come on to it, rap on top of it. Perfect. So this is brilliant in my opinion. Of course, I'm super biased because I just love JPEG Mafia and I love Kenny beats. So I feel like they could probably do no wrong for me. That was cool. Still, very cool track. So one thing that is challenging with an album like this, when songs all blend together, is it's hard to remember which track is which, and then picking a favorite where still is going to hold the current top spot for me right now. We will move on to track 8, which is called, I think it's pronounced Moire, but I'm not positive. Produced by Kenny Beats. Let's rock in.
Hey, Louie.
Mostly an instrumental. Trippy. Cool. Very cool. Cool. That echo. And these little electronic sounds bouncing around. It sounds like a flute that's been manipulated heavily. And what's cool too is, I don't know if it's just me, but it sounds like he's even like kind of shifting the pitch just slightly as it's playing. Like it sounds like it starts here and then it shifts just a little as it's progressing through. This is a cool track. I mean, different sound. It almost sounds like a little darker. So I'm wondering if the album's gonna take a slight turn here or not. But listen to this like flute. Maybe it's just the notes that are being played. Got the horns again. I'm gonna let it roll into track 9, which is called Get Around, featuring Dijon. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. Non-lyrical vocals. Okay. I like that little, like, half stutter in the beat. Right there. Some drums way in the back. I pause. My brain's just kind of rolling around. You know, I am noticing this one. Earlier I'd said how Kenny's really good at changing things up. This one's a little bit more of a repeated structure, which is totally fine. No criticism or anything like that there. But it does let my brain kind of back off in terms of listening and start to wander a little bit, which is kind of cool. And I was just starting to think, you know, it's neat to hear this, and I start to wonder, where does he pull his inspiration from? When you watch The Cave, these guys, they come in, right, and they more or less try and stump him on the production side of what they want for their beat. You know, I want I want a 90s industrial metal sound with Mariah Carey and Beethoven. You know, like they always just throw him these crazy curveballs, right, in terms of sound. But here he is, he's making his own thing, and I wonder, okay, what inspires him? Where does he get the ideas, the sounds, the vibe, all that kind of stuff, you know? All right, let's just keep listening. That's cool. I feel like this is a good track you could just put on repeat if you wanted for a while, you know, just let it spin for a while. It's gonna roll into track 10, which is called Eternal, produced by Kenny Beats. You know, when the other day, not this morning when I was setting up, but a couple days back when the album first came out, I saw something online where I guess Kenny's dad was diagnosed with cancer or something like that, but I couldn't find that again. But then when I was setting up, there was a thing where it's like, oh, it's a get well music card or something like that. And so I think that's the case. I don't know that for sure, but I think that is the case. And so you get this bit, you know, we live forever. Eternal life is the intersection of the line of time and the plane of now. I don't really know how I feel about that. I think it sounds cool, but when I try and think about that, my brain gets really confused, honestly. Eternal life is the intersection of the line of time and the plane of now. Okay. No comment. I'm just going to let that be what it is. But I wonder, you know, here we live forever, talk about eternal life. You got a guy who's making music. Music lives forever, in my opinion. This opening line, though, from the verse, ruled by human logic, we sometimes confine ourselves to one plane of the universe, which I do agree with. It's very difficult for us to consider life outside of our senses, you know, and we think about how, you know, what matter is, and this is not what matter is. You know, it's all just particles flying around and pairing up and doing all kinds of crazy shit. Anyway, I like that bit. But earlier in the previous track, Get Around, that repeated itself through no input from me at all. It was very strange. You know, I was talking about what's inspiring him and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, if his dad is sick and he's just thinking about that, and he's got, you know, you got the album cover with, it looks like a father and son sitting on the bench, and, you know, the kid's got the headphones on. I wonder if that's supposed to be him and his dad, and it's a beautiful day. And I'm starting to feel like this album is more of a focusing on memories and the joy of life and so on. And this has that feel. The album has had that feel so far, just positive, you know, good things, good vibes, right? Let's keep rolling. Cool little sound right there.
I told you before. I was sitting there, I was like, what's like some mafia shit? And I was like, Louie. Yeah, I was like, this is worse. And then like after I did that, I was like, there's so many niggas named Louie. Bro, right after. Yeah, right after that, I was like, we came here. Fuck.
I wonder if that's him and JPEG talking again. I was sitting and I was like, what's some mafia shit? Like, I wonder if that's Kenny talking about, you know, a beat to try and make for JPEG Mafia. Huh. Cool track. This has been a cool experience so far. I'm really enjoying this. Track 10 is called Last Words featuring Fouché and Remy Wolf. Remy Wolf sounds familiar. Produced by Kenny Beats, Homer Steinweiss, Leon Michaels, Paul Spring. All right, Last Words, track 11. Cool little drum beat to drop in there. I like how he has put horns into this album. Great little horn section here. Very cool. I'm just pausing real quick. I'm really just pondering this thing here. I wonder if he'll say, slow my heart, itchy gitchy airplane, I say goodbye just to miss you. I don't know where the sample is from. It sounds like a sample, but I don't know where it's from. Slow my heart, itchy gitchy airplane, I say goodbye just to miss you. I feel like there's something there, but I also feel like I'm trying to read into it. And so I feel like I'm reaching whatever idea is forming it. I feel like I'm just reaching for something, but that really sticks out to me. And I mean, obviously it sticks out, right? It's a prominent portion of the song and the sample and all this other stuff, but just the fact that it's in there, that he chose this to put it in the song, you know? Makes me very curious as to what the intention is there. It's something I love about music and art in general. Is just, you know, sometimes people make stuff and they're just having fun and there's no meaning whatsoever. Sometimes it's a complete accident. And sometimes, though, there's just these deep meanings that only they know. And sometimes the whole thing can be a riddle that you're trying to solve. And it's really cool. All right, let's finish this one up.
As far as goodbye, it's like, you know, you only tell me goodbye when I'm gone, and I'm gonna live forever, so you can't never tell me goodbye. I'm here forever. I'm immortal. I'm a statue. I'm a public figure, a trophy that's nice and shiny. I'm here forever like air. Nobody say goodbye to the air.
So I'm glad I kept going instead of trying to conjure an idea, right? Because here's Vince Staples, and this has got to be, well, not necessarily from the cave, but for when they're hanging out. I like that he's got these little recorded tidbits. Because think about Eternal, the previous track, right? The idea of we live forever and that intersection of time and now. And then you got Vince Staples here saying, you only tell me goodbye when I'm gone, and I'm going to live forever, so you can't tell me goodbye. We could be here forever. I'm immortal. I'm a statue. I'm a public figure, a trophy that's nice and shiny. I'm here forever like air. Nobody says goodbye to the air. But, you know, zoom out. If his dad's sick, and if he's thinking about that, he's thinking about this, you know, saying goodbye and missing people, but then we live forever. And, you know, I feel like there's stuff going on here. There's certainly stuff going on here. Cool track. I really like Last Words. And then, you know, the title's called Last Words. It's neat, man. This is a neat experience. I'm really enjoying this. So track 12, it's called Drop 10, produced by Kenny Beats. Well, let's drop into it.
Pick up on the bag and stride, love and devotion. If the tracks are fast emotion, it's gonna subside. She stole my heart, but it's just a misdemeanor. Just a misdemeanor.
Huh. Let's gonna pause it before we drop into the next track. I'm just gonna feel like on this one, I feel like it's just Kenny having fun. You know, heavy use of the sample there, and it just feels like he's fucking around, man, which is cool. You know, the other thing, it just occurs to me, right? Maybe these are songs that his dad likes. Maybe these are songs that his dad played when he was younger. Maybe this is what got him into hip hop. You know, I have no idea. But if the idea is this album is a musical get well card, and you're trying to make your dad feel better, you're going to throw in samples from songs that he loves, right? So maybe that's what's going on. Maybe it really is just that simple. And so he's just fucking around on some of these tracks that maybe were played in his house all the time, or maybe they're associated with certain memories, certain times, you know, stuff like that. This is a cool little track, though. Very cool. Let's move into, we'll let it drop into track 13 here in a second, which is called The Perch, featuring Benny Sings. All right, let's close out drop 10.
Here in the Perch, 103.6 FM with my son, Ken the Third.
Oh, here we go.
We'd just like to introduce him to you and have him say hello.
Hi, I'm Ken Bloom. Happy to be here. We're at the Perch. We're just doing good stuff all the time. This keyboard tape we dedicate to all those lonely people out there.
So did his dad work at the radio station? Is that what this is? I mean, the Perch, 103.6 FM with my son. Here's Ken the Third. We're going to introduce him. Ken Bloom. Happy to be here. So, like I said earlier, I don't know anything about Kenny. I know nothing about him, right? But I feel like I'm learning about him because this is all starting to click. You know, maybe is this how he got into music? Because his dad was at the radio station and they're just playing records and he was hanging out with him and stuff. And obviously that makes sense in terms of learning samples and fucking around with samples, playing with the equipment, learning how to do it. That's cool, man. This is really cool. Let's keep rolling. Nice change right there. Guitar dropping in.
And we'll be back here with more music for you at the Perch 103.6
FM.
All right, here we go.
Dude, that's awesome. If Kenny was at the radio station with his dad and helping him with the announcements and playing records and stuff like that, that's really cool. Really cool. And this bridge, I keep wondering where you are. I want to read into that, but there's so many different things that could mean. You know, it could just be a sample. It could be Kenny wondering how his dad's feeling, if he's fighting this illness. It could be his dad asking Kenny, hey, where are you? Where you been? What you doing? Because Kenny's obviously pretty busy. You know, I loved how, it was like a month or two ago, he was DJing in some place and they like broke the floor because he got the crowd so worked up. It's fucking amazing, you know? This is a neat album. Really neat album. I'm enjoying the shit out of this. And it's cool too because I'm just listening to it and obviously paying attention to the lyrics that are here, but I'm learning about Kenny. You know, this is like a little peek into who he is in his life and stuff. So let's drop into track 14, which is called Really Really, produced by Kenny Beats.
You could do it, she could do it, they could do it, we could do it, try to do it, really, really, you could do it, I could do it, you could do it, she could do it, they could do it, I could do it, you could do it, really, really, you could do it.
And it's a pleasure to be with you. We'd like to know, where do you come from?
Well, I live in Los Angeles.
Lots of drums here, which is very cool.
I hate you, Kenny.
just gonna pause real quick. Anyway, this intro, I could do it, you could do it, she could do it, they could do it, we could do it, try to do it. Really, you could do it. It's a sample, right? Well, it sounded like a sample. It didn't really sound like a sample from a song. It sounded like a sample from a, like maybe a kid's show or something like that. And then you've got this little bit, where they're talking, well, ask some questions, like to know where you come from, live in Los Angeles. It kind of sounded like his dad interviewing Kenny, his son, on the radio station, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Kenny, maybe his dad didn't work at the radio station. Maybe Kenny got onto the radio or somehow. Anyway. What I want to focus on is the idea, I could do it, you could do it, she could do it, they could do it. And I'm picturing a young Kenny, and he's at the radio station, or maybe, I don't know. But just believing in the idea that, yeah, I could someday make music. And maybe his dad was an inspiration for that, if he worked at the radio station or not, either way, And now here he is. And the track's called Really, Really. You could do it, This is neat. This is really neat. Let's finish this one out. This is fucking really cool. I'm going to let it roll into track 15, which is called That Third Thing. So we'll finish out Really, Really. I'm liking the drums on this one. It is cool too how there's been certain tracks where he's changing the sound, and kind of experimenting a little bit, but it still has that positive feel for the most part. All right, let's go. All right, rolling into track 15, That Third Thing.
Kex, can you help us out?
Park, Daddy, we're listening to Read Entertainment, sit back and cool down.
Real chill sound here. It's neat to have that kind of higher tempo drum track and then just drop in and slow down. Some of these sounds are reminding me of Tyler, the Creator, a little bit. So there are lyrics here in the background. Somebody's saying something, but I can't quite make it out. Might have to crank the volume up. I love those little hesitations and pauses that he puts in. Okay, it's gonna roll on to track 16, which is called Rotten, featuring Namie.
I want to do a little something like this right here.
This has already got a really cool sound. This already sounds very cool. I like this one a lot.
Let me hear you say, you give up. You should know what I did to. Carry out like that fruit. You were rotten from the root. Yeah.
Huh. Let me hear you say, before you give up, those things that I told you, the blue skies that hang me through. It doesn't count for nothing. The blue skies that hang me through. What's a man like me to do? All those things you put me through. Does it count for nothing? Interesting. Let's keep listening.
Won't you give up?
you know, initially I was thinking, oh, this is a bit more of like a sad melancholy, but not quite. It's just a little bit more reflective, I think. You know, I don't want to give you up. Those things that I told you, the blue skies that hang me through, doesn't count for nothing. But what's a man like me to do? All those things you put me through, does it count for nothing? And I honestly don't really know what to make of that. It's a little cryptic. But you pair that with the music, and it's not really, you know, I was initially, like I was saying, melancholy, but it's not really it's just pondering. You know, just pondering. Like with that track, especially the beat and the slower, I can just picture someone kind of sitting out by themselves. You know, the sun's going down and it's just kind of quiet wherever they are. You know, maybe they're just like on their back porch or something like that. And they're just kind of just sitting, you know, just really sitting, thinking. Cool track, Rotten. Now I was thinking Rotten's going to be my favorite. And I forgot the one that I liked the most earlier. I forgot. Oh, it was Still. It was Still. Yeah, I remember now. That one was the one with the Peggy, right? Yeah, that was Peggy as well. But Rotten's a really cool track. Really neat sound. We'll finish it out. There's about 10 seconds left. I'll let it pour into the final track, which is called Hot Hand, produced by Kenny Beats. Let's close her out.
Louie? No, señor. Esa sí es. Palma.
I like the guitar that's coming in here. This is a great sound too. So I realized, you know, I'm just kind of sitting here nodding my head, and I'm really, really settled into this sound. This song is like almost meditative in the style, man. There's just something about that beat, the clapping, the guitar. I kind of forgot I was recording. Like I was just really, really settling into that sound. So I had to pause and break out and actually participate in what I'm doing here. Let's talk about this verse. Let's finish the track, then talk about the verse. The house building. Wow. I'm glad I finished the track because it was building and building and building and building, and it got like frantic, you know? And I'm glad I heard that, because what I was going to say with this verse, I'm really big, I'm really small, I'm in the ceiling, and then I'm wrong. I am noticing too that Genius, I thought that artists uploaded the lyrics to Genius, but it's not. Apparently it's people making, you know, they're writing in the lyrics from what they're hearing, so sometimes they're wrong. Anyway, I've noticed there's been some errors. I'm off the rails, I'm running hard, I fall in love, and then I'm gone. I'm in the storm, I'm in the calm, I'm in the mist, I'm in the fog. I ride it out, then get along. I'm getting pulled, I fall in love, then put my hurt up on a song. Now I sing along, I sing along, I sing along. But where'd I be without a plan, without my man's? A helping hand, a hot hand, the son of man. I'm whooping ass without a can. I want to talk, I want to dance, I want to place, I want to place, I want to place. I'm in my zone, but never fold, I want revenge. The verse feels frantic. And it feels almost like a panic, you know? And the reason why I really want to mention that and focus on it is because consider the idea of this album being a get well card for his dad. You know, we've got songs talking about eternity and living forever. And I mean, it just feels like a fear of mortality, a desire to make things happen before you run out of time. You know, there's just this frantic feel here. I want revenge. Playing ball like give and go. I pick a role, you pick a road to map it out. Other people want to nap it out. You pick a role within me. Forgive me, just forgive me. It's frantic. And then that end, how it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds. That's pretty wild. That was a strong, strong close, man. That was fucking killer. You know, a closing track is very important for an album experience. And obviously for someone like me who's doing a reaction. And, you know, my wife and I were talking about this yesterday, how the recency bias is a real thing. You know, like I don't remember track 3. So even if I loved track 3, it's been an hour since I've heard it and I've forgotten what it sounds like. And I'm having this fresh experience right now. So I think it's better. So it's the thing. But, you know, if you're structuring an album, having a strong closer that, you know, even if you call it recency bias or whatever, it seals the deal. You know, if you have an album that's good and then the last 3 tracks are kind of weak, you know, the audience leaves disappointed. It's just the same thing with the movie, right? You got to have a great ending and all this stuff. That was a great closer. And it's honestly, it's great in the sense of what it is and what it's doing. But it's also surprising because you've got this whole album is really just kind of, you know, it felt like the first half really especially was focusing on, you know, positivity and good vibes and maybe, you know, good memories and stuff like that. And then it seems like it gets a little bit more specific midway. You've got Eternal, you've got Last Words, the Perch, which is the thing with the radio station and stuff like that. And so maybe that's Kenny kind of really thinking on memories about his dad and stuff like that. And then it doesn't really get dark, but it stops being happy in a sense. You know, it's not sad, it's not dark, but it does turn just a little bit. And then Hot Hand is almost a panic. I don't want to assume anything. I don't know anything about Kenny's life. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm right about this being for his dad or about his dad. I think, what the hell was it? It was something on Twitter. I saw something on Twitter talking about it. Anyway, that was good. Dude, that's a fucking fantastic album too. Really good. Really good. I'm going to play it again. And what's cool is, like I was saying, how there's no gaps between the tracks, so it just goes and goes and goes and goes, and you just go for this whole ride. I like it when albums do that. But then I like also, too, when they break it apart so you can go to your favorite part. There's some tracks, man, where like Rush does it sometimes, and there's some other bands that do it, where the song is 15 minutes long, but it's, if you look at the track title, it's like a you know, there's certain chapters within it, but it's one track, so you can't skip to, you know, minute 7. Anyway, that was great. I really enjoyed that. And that felt like a solid test run for Donuts too. I'm looking forward to doing that one. That's gonna be an experience, I think. Yeah, that was cool, man. That's why I listen to it again. I just want to soak in that. Neat. And Hot Hand. Really interesting track. That panic, that build too, that build at the end. Okay, I'm just going to sit here and keep saying, over and over again. We'll see you guys.